Uh, Good evening, class, and we are going to start with the new topic, that is object-oriented programming system. And so let us understand what is object-oriented programming system, and that we are actually uh, looking for what is an object and what is object-oriented programming. So object-oriented programming is nothing but message passing. So one object is passing a message to another object, and another object is also sending a message as a response to other object. So there is interaction between two objects by passing message to each other. So we understood that if I'm object one, and there is another object called as a mobile. So my mobile is showing a user interface, and I choose one of the application, and that application is get start. Uh, and once the application is running, whatever the inputs I'm giving, my application is responding accordingly on the basis of what the input. And I'm starting interacting with my object, mobile object. So I'm one object and another object. So there is a interaction between two objects. So similarly, if you're talking about the human beings, so one human being is interacting with the other human beings, or one or more human beings by passing a message, and the other human being also taking the message. So we seen in last video that I'm a user and I'm asking a milkman to deliver a milk back to me, and then milkman is only that object who are every day they are delivering a milk back to me. So milkman may have n number of functionality, and that functionality I don't interested in that functionality. Only the essential things which I require, that only I will take from him, and I start interacting with them with that function. So similarly, I interact with my boss. Boss is sending some tasks to me. I'm completing these tasks as a result, and I start interacting with each other by passing and sending a message. So what is an object? Object is an entity, and which having some characteristics and behavior and a state. And so I can say whole world is a full of object. N number of objects are there, and some are having a life, some are not. Okay, but still they are object, and still every object has a characteristics and behavior. Characteristics also known as a properties, and behavior is also known as functions or methods are assigned. So if I'm saying there is a object, one object which is sitting on my window. So its body color is black, and the big color is also black. The he's just making sound like cow cow. Okay, so that making of sound is uh, called as his behavior. So in that case, I know I'm talking about I'm talking about the crow here. So in that case, I can visualize the object by checking their characteristics and the behavior. Okay, and same thing we can see that if I'm talking about the parrot, so parrot body color is green, and the big color is what the red here, and he's making some another sound, but parrot and the crow both have wings, and both have a neck, both have a beak, and only the values are different. So both have two legs, two wings, and one beak, and the body color, both have a body, but the colors are different, so black. But they are having a common properties. When they having a common properties, then they form a class. Okay, so I can say a class is nothing but it is a collection of similar kind of object. Okay, this is the first definition I'm giving. A class is a collection of similar kind of objects. So I can say uh, crow and the parrots are a similar kind of object, only the values are different here. This value is green and this value is black, but uh, both have a body, both have a beak, both have a legs, and both have a wings. And these are the value 2, 2, 1, and the color. Okay, so value may be different, but the structure is what the same, and the object which you are creating uh, uh, here, which is based on some structure or some design. So I can say that my class is design or some blueprint or some template. So you can give three different name to what the class. So I can say class is a collection of similar kind of object. One, another definition is class is a design where the object is created, whatever a design is mentioned here as a properties and the method. So those methods are available to that object here. Instance of what that class. So you can see the object, but you can't see the class. You can see a crow, you can see a parrot, but you can't see a bird here. So it is a logical. This class is something called as a logical things, but you can see the object which is physical. You can touch, you can see, and you can check the behavior of that particular object. So I can say object, if there is an object, there must be a class, but class you will not see. Someone create a design it, and then you are creating object of that. So if you are believing in God, then I can say the bird design is created by the God, and all the different kind of birds objects they are creating, like crow and the parrot. Okay, only the different color, but the properties are same here. Only the different values, sound, and different the color combination, but behavior is same. All are flying. Okay, so flying is a behavior. Are all are eating through the beak. So eating is a one kind of what the fever. So being as a bird family, so crow is a bird family, and the parrot is also bird family. So the behavior are same. Therefore, I can say they are belongs to what the bird class. Okay, so whatever the uh, behavior is defined here, that behavior is apply on that object here. Whatever the property is defined here, that property you will get in that every object. Okay, so in my class the definition given that being as a bird, every bird must have two wings, every bird must have two legs, every bird must have one beak, every bird must have some body. Value may be a different here, but these are the property every bird must have. Okay, then I can using that property, then this particular object is created. So I can say the object is an instance of what the class. So whatever the definitions are created, so whomsoever is creating the object, first is creating a design for the same here. So you can see that class is a collection of similar kind of object which I already told, and class is a design, map, template, or blueprint for an object, and class is a collection of data member and the methods. Basically, this kind of what technical definition every student is giving us when we are taking an interview. At that time, this is a common definition the people are giving. That class is a collection of data member and the methods, okay, or functions. And when we are asking them about can you give an explanation for the same, so they are starting to talking about employee class and the student class, what they are actually whatever the explanation they are given by their teachers, they are actually giving the similar kind of what explanation there, but we are not asking such kind of explanation because we always talk about the class in the form of a real world entity here. So Why it is called a real world programming language? Because we supposed to compare all this concept, which is a biological concept, we are supposed to use in programming language here. Okay, and the similar kind of what the things are there. So if I'm creating a bottles here, okay, so bottles are the objects and which has the cover, okay, and which are the top, okay, and so every bottle has a base and top here, okay, base and top. So in my define, I can choose the base and tops and create a design accordingly. I will set the height and the circular shape radius, and I will check the radius for the button or the top button. And everything I will define, and whatever the specification I am given accordingly, I will create object of bottle. Okay, and though all are same, okay, same height, same width, and same pouring capacity, because it is based on the design. So someone is creating that design here. So it is a logical and this is a physical, that I already explained here. So if you talk about any entity, so there are n number of entities the people are talking. Let us talk about human class. You can't see any human class in a nature view, but you can see the object like Ashok. You can see the object like Ramesh, Suresh. All these are object which is, I can say, it is a human being object. Okay, so there is a human class, and these are the existing object which name is Ashok, Ramesh, Suresh. Okay, which has a name, age, height, weight, body color, IQ or EQ, n number of characteristics I defined on that particular person class here. So every body has a name, everybody has age, height, weight, and some color, and some intelligent quest and emotional quest they have, if it is required in some context. IQ, EQ, आप किसी when you are visiting towards some person and asking for what is your IQ and EQ, and he's actually selling some bill or selling some any kind of fruits on the street. So you can't ask such kind of what that properties which is not related to their services. Okay, so you can ask name, age, height, weight, and body color. You can't ask IQ and EQ or some salary and some other. So every time, whatever the entity you are creating as a person, so each entity is playing n number of roles. Okay, and when they are playing n number of roles, at that time the properties is also a change here. So if I'm saying student is a person, the answer is yes. So now every student must have the name, age, height, weight, body color, IQ, and EQ. Okay, but other than this property, every student must have roll number, okay, the percentage, and all other stuffs here. So in that case, I found that the student is a class which is actually available here with some new property which is not available inside the person. So in that case, I want to either redefine the person class, okay, as a student, and add whatever is missing there I will add here, or I will create a new class student, and whatever the properties are there in a person, that property again I am implementing in student, and plus some new property here. Okay, so if I'm pasting it here, and if I'm using this property, name, age, height, and body color, and IQ and EQ. Okay, other than that, I will write some more property like roll number and some other. But why should I do that roll number and percentage again? This is the two requirement you required here. So I need a roll number and I need the percentage here, which is not there inside the function. So instead of creating these uh, another properties, okay, which is already exist, I will extend my class. Okay, so this is called as the extension of what the class is. So I'm going to extend my class as a student here. Okay, so I'm going to reuse my classes, and I'm using my person class, and I'm going to create a student class which is extension of what the person, and that is called as a inheritance here. Okay, so inheritance is nothing but you are extending the classes. Okay, if you found that some classes has the member which is not available in their base class. So this is my base class, and there is a relationship, and that is called as a is a relationship. So student is a person, teacher is a person, employee is a person, security is a person. All these five kind of what the uh, classes are extended from the person class, because in each classes we required a name, age, height, weight, body color, IQ, and EQ. So instead of creating the classes, I will extend the person class in various other class, like person is a student, teacher is also person, and employee is also person. So teacher, employee, security, all these are inherited from the base class called as a person here. So there are different kind of what the inheritance. So we are going to see here, and when you check that, so there is a class, and that class has some data member where we can define some characteristic, and some input data where you are responsible for the initializing this data member. You are not able to direct access. You are not going to access any data directly. Therefore, the data is secured here. So there is a data security. Okay, because no access, direct access here. Okay, so outside object cannot access. So no direct access. Okay, available here, and because of that, the people cannot access data directly here. So no direct access here. Okay, and you are requesting to some function which is a member of your class. So that member are the having the accessibility, and through that member you are accessing the data member of what that class. So being as a member, other people can access miss the this method can access the data of what that class. So this method is only available to the people, outside people. So it depends upon the user interface, or it depends upon the requirement. The only essential methods is provided to the respective application. Okay, yeah, for example, I can't start your TV at your home because it is a private property. Okay, I can't start it because I'm an outside object, and if I want to watch your TV, so I will catch some member function, and I will request him to start the TV there. Okay, so being as that member of that house, they are starting a TV for me. So even though if I'm outside object, I can access the data which is not accessible directly, but I can access that data through some functions. Okay, member functions. So here the accessing initializations are taking place through some data. So there is a function who are taking care of inputting a data. Okay, the function like get data. There are some functions who are taking care of showing the content. So there is a show output data. So every class has such kind of what the functionality. Automatic initialization is also there, and that is called as the constructor. Okay, so we are going to understand the use of constructor and how the automatic initializations are taking place. So if you see, there is a dotted line. So this dotted line is saying that whatever is inside there, it is not available to outside object here. So my data and the functions are combined together. So that's why we are saying the definition that it is a collection of data member and the methods here. So these are the data member and the methods who are collecting with each other, and they form a class here. So wrapping of data and it's just like a capsule. So if you see, this is a capsule here, and in that capsule, the main powder which is there inside that capsule, it will not affected by outside foreign body. Okay, and that entire important powder which is there inside the capsule will secured by outside particles. So all outside particles will not sit on these particles, okay, which is there inside the capsule. So all data within that capsules are secured, and when we eat this capsule and this capsule cover is melt by water, at that time the benefit of what this particular powder we are getting inside the body, okay, without inserting the particle which is there in the air, okay, and we'll get the pure medicine which is fit inside this. So what is this? This is called as a encapsulation. So what is encapsulation? Encapsulation is nothing but a class, and where the data and the methods are actually uh, available in a single unit, and they form the they give us security, and the security is taking place with the help of something called as a private, public, and protected. So private, public, and protected are the access controls. So if you are saying your data member are public, then the people can access the member method, okay, through an outside object, and through that member method, people can access the data member of your class. So there is no direct access, so no direct access, but indirect access is there, and indirect access is taking place through a method and a function. But that also depends upon my wish, which data I will make as a public, which function I will make as a public, which function I will make as a private or protected. So I will choose the accessibility there, and I will send the essential things, and the rest of the things are hiding from the object. So that is called as a data abstraction or data hiding here. So if you look at that, this is a person who having n number of what the a skill set. He is good a dancer, he is good a singer, he is good a lover, he is good a programmer, and he is a good investor here. Okay, so if her his uh, his fiancé, okay, so she want to interact with him. At that time, these are the two functionality she is looking for, okay, singing and what, loving. So she only access these two functionality, she is not and accessing this dancing functionality. She is not interested how good programmer he is, okay, because this is not essential for her. So she is only checking these two functionality. Okay, so this is another object, and these another objects are those objects where he's a boss, and he's only interested in a functionality which is called how good programmer he is. Okay, and the rest of the functionality is not essential for them, and it will ignored by the compiler, or he is not making available this other functionality to him. Okay, so he's only hiding all these other functionality, okay, and he's only showing this skill toward their boss. Otherwise, boss will ask him to dance for him, or boss will ask for singing um, uh, functionality for him. So, which is not essential in this environment or in this system. So only the essential things are given, and the rest of the things are hiding here, and that is called as a data abstraction, because n number of information, n number of functionality that object has, and the rest of the functionality they are giving only essential things they are giving to what the respective parts. So if these are the group of friends, and this group of friends are looking for the functionality which is accessible and as a print, so dancing, singing, loving, okay, and investing, kind of all kind of fund of functionality the people can use being as a group of what the parts. So all these are four pillar of what the object oriented programming. So what are those four pillar? The first is data abstraction, okay, and second is encapsulation, and third one is inheritance, and the fourth one is polymorph. So let us understand inheritance in detail. So we already learn about inheritance here. So if there is a single inheritance, so single inheritance is a form of inheritance where some properties and the methods of base class is shared with the derived class, okay, as a child. So shared means they are inheriting this property one to the other class here. So if you look at that, so this is a person and this is a student. So this person has a name and age, and this person name is what Ashok here, suppose. And being as a student, Ashok now he wants to use this person class. So now this student is using replacing the value as a Jayesh and age is 20, and now these are the two data member which is not a part of what the person, but person data member can inherited in this class here. So this is a Jayesh who wants to add some more data like roll number and percentage. So as well as they want to add name and age. So instead of creating a new student class, we will extend my person class as a student. So that student data is get available to the person here. Okay. Then there is a multi-level inheritance. So you can create n number of levels of inheritance. Okay. So person is an employee and employee is a manager here. Okay. So person has a two data member. So employee can use these two data member, and employee has some three more data member here. Then manager is inherited from employees. In that case, it is accessible the person data as well as employee data as well as their own data member, which is not part of employee and the person data. Okay, manager has incentives which employee don't have. Okay, and each employee has name and age which is inherited from person, plus employee id, employee post, and employee salary are there. So manager also had a name, age, employee id, employee post, and employee salary, plus incentive which is employee don't have. So I can extend these inheritance as the way I want, and I can stop this inheritance at certain class. So I can inherit its n number of level, but if I want to stop the inheritance, multi-level inheritance, then I have to create the last class, and that is something called as a seal class here. So when you define the class as a seal class, so no further inheritance is taking place there. So in that case, you are sealing, okay, seal the entire inheritance, and therefore those class are called as a seal class, and no further inheritance are possible. Then multiple inheritance here, which is not support in multi-level is support, but multiple is not support in Java language. It is support in C++. Okay, but in C sharp and C sharp and Java, both the languages cannot support the multiple inheritance, because you can't take the properties. The concept is there, but you cannot take the two properties from the different class in Java. But if you want to achieve a multiple inheritance, you can achieve multiple inheritance by using interface. So what is that interface that we are going to see? Okay, after defining the class. So multiple inheritance are those inheritance. There are two properties are taken from two different classes, and the child class is inherited from two base class or more than two base class. Okay, so now here teacher class is there. Teacher is a person and he wants to choose the subject by using subject ID. So he's taking the value from the subject and he's taking the values from the person. Okay, so it's extended from two different classes and it's allowed to use two different properties and the methods from that base classes. Hierarchical inheritance is, we already learned, the person is inherited, the student, employee, and teachers all are inherited from a single class called as a person, and they are forming hierarchy. Hierarchy, yeah. So this is hierarchical inheritance. Hybrid inheritance is a combination of two inheritance, and it is called hybrid inheritance. Yeah. Okay, and this is a polymorphism, which is the actual, the last part in the object oriented programming. And what is this polymorphism here? So most of the time people are saying poly means many and morphism means form. Such a kind of what the explanation they people are giving, and they are saying polymorphism means a many form. The technically it is correct, but how you are actually showing the polymorphism, okay, and how you describe the polymorphism here. Okay, so in our day-to-day life we always uh, seen a polymorphism, and we always think about something which is not concrete, and when we are relating this with the concrete part, so your abstract form become a concrete. So if I'm asking you, close your eyes for 1 minute and think about the fruit which you like most. Okay. So when I'm asking you such kind of what the question, close your eyes and think about the fruit which you like most. Okay. And if I ask you what kind of fruit you are seeing in your mind, so people will come with a different answer. So some people saying that they see a mango, apple, and the people will see that custard apple, jackfruit, pineapple. So n number of answers the people are giving, and maybe one person maybe saying that I can't see any kind of what the thing in my mind, because you ask for a fruit, so I'm not able to create the image of what the fruit you are talking about. So he's also right, because uh, I'm not giving any kind of what is say specification. I'm only saying that you think about the fruit which you like most. So there are n number of form of fruit, and you can create many form of what the fruit. And fruit is an abstract thing. Okay, you can't create the object. Okay, so fruit is an abstract. Okay, and you can't create an object, but you can create many forms of that object. Okay, many form of that abstract class. Okay, so this is not a right answer when you are talking about abstract classes. So people are talking always wrong. Abstract means you can't create a class here. Okay, that is correct, but abstract only is not that thing. You can't create, but you can create n number of form from the abstract class. Okay, so that is the reason MF Hussain is a great the uh, the painter, I can say, the artist who are creating abstract painting, and every day the people who are watching at that painting, they are getting a new form of that image. Every time the new image are actually coming from that portrait, and that is the reason MF Hussain portrait are sale for 2 crore, 3 crore, or 5 crores, or they are a simple, uh, not a simple design. They are creating some polymorphic effect where the people will get that. So if you think about the god, so in Hinduism, the god has a number of form, and there are many gods. Yeah, Hindu religion. But in Islam, so there is no any kind of water form. So in Islam, the people are talking about the things in the form of abstract. God is abstract form. They okay. So there is no image such as, but in Hinduism, we are actually forming n number of form from that particular abstract thing. So abstract class are like that only. So you can't create the object here. So no object is created because no specification. Okay, no specification, and no characteristic, and no properties. Okay, and okay, no properties, no characteristics, no specification, and that is the reason you are not able to create the objects. So therefore, no object creation. Okay. But again, I'm telling that. So if I'm talking about fruit, and if I ask you the same question, now close your eyes and think about the fruit which you most like most. Like you are saying mango. So in that case, I will say mango is a fruit, okay, which you like. So someone is saying they he like pineapple. So then I'm saying pineapple is a fruit which you like. So pineapple is a fruit, so there is a relationship, and mango is a fruit also. But in that case, we are able to create, I can say, the various form of water fruit. So I can say fruit is new mango, and the fruit is I can say a new pineapple. Okay, so this is a concrete class, and in that concrete class, if I'm referring my concrete class to my abstract class, so every time my abstract class is changing the form, and it's giving me polymorphism effect here. Because uh, if I'm asking you whatever the fruit you are thinking about, can you tell me a taste? Okay, then in that case, if you are thinking about the mango, then you are knowing the taste of what the mango. Okay, and so this is something called as a concrete method. Okay, and this concrete method, when you are talking about this concrete method here, and this concrete method, I know the body of this method here. But when I'm talking about, can you tell me the taste of fruit? So in that case, I don't know which fruit you are talking about. So in that case, the method of this taste is called as abstract method. abstract method don't have a body here. So it is a virtual. So when you are talking about something called as a virtual function in C++, you can easily imagine the real world example with the help of the concept which they are actually teaching you in C++ on in object-oriented programming. So rest of the time we are only thinking about that virtual function is that you are using a keyword called as a virtual and creating something. No, so this is a function which is don't have any kind of the body. Okay, it's an abstract method which is empty body. Empty body means the body is not there. Okay, because it's going to replace with which object reference that fruit is giving. Okay, and when I'm talking about this taste is empty and this taste is a concrete method which has a body. Okay, mango has a taste, pineapple has a taste. Okay, and this has a concrete method here. Okay, I'm going to show you the example. And in that case, when I'm saying my fruit is now a pineapple, so in that case, this taste method is going to override. Okay, it's going to override on my the abstract method. So this is something called as a method overriding or the function overriding. So please understand this. Okay, uh, don't give such kind of the answers that method overriding is nothing but there are n number of classes which are inherited from uh, the same abstract class, and there are same method of the same signature which every class has. Okay, then those methods are called as a overriding method. Yeah, it is correct. Technically definition is correct, but how you are going to explain the overriding, why it is overriding? So overriding means something is taking place, it's going to replace, and that is the reason it is empty here. Okay, those things are empty here, and that things are get overriding here. So I would like to show the abstract uh, actual behavior of abstract method here. So I'm showing a paintbrush here, and if you look at that, so there are n number of shapes. Okay, so I'm choosing a line shape here, and I'm selecting my x coordinate and y coordinate, and I'm just dragging my mouse in a bottom. So this is my x2 y2. So if you look at that, so there are x1 y1 coordinate, and this is x2 y2 coordinate, and I draw my line. Okay, so it is a shape, and I'm drawing now my rectangle, and it also has a starting coordinate, top left and bottom right. Okay, that is x1 and y2. So it's also having two coordinate, okay, in my rectangle, and even line is also having a two coordinate x1 y1, but the behavior is different here. Okay, so signature is same. Here also I'm using a draw function, here also I'm using a draw function, and in case of circle also I'm using the starting coordinate here. If you look at this is actually a square box, but the starting coordinate is here and ending coordinate. So it's also taking, it's not taking a radius. Okay, it's creating a circle without using radius by using some different graphical algorithm here. But what I'm trying to tell you, this is x1 y1 x2 y2, this is x1 y1 x2 y2, and this is also x1 y1 and x2 y2 here in this direction. So in that case, the all the parameters are same here. So there are four parameters I'm using here, x1 y1, and this is another two parameter, here also two parameter, and this is also two parameter. So total number of parameters are same here, and the methods are same every time, that is a draw method. Only difference is what the behavior is different here, and that is a polymorphism exists. Okay, So another example I'm giving, if I'm having so shape is my abstract class, I can say, and if you see this particular example which I'm showing in a polymorphism. So if you see this is abstract class, I'm talking about the fruit, okay, and the taste body is what empty here, and mango has a taste, apple has a taste, pineapple has a taste, and jackfruit has a taste, and all those stuffs are inherited uh, from the base class here. So if you see, it's going to inherited from the base class. So I'm saying fruit is mango, apple is a mango, pineapple is a fruit, mango is a fruit, apple is a fruit, and jackfruit is a fruit. And the taste is different here, but the behavior is same. So if you look at the same thing, there is a shape abstract which I can't see any kind of word strip here. But if I'm saying draw, so draw is also empty, but there is a line shape, and there is a circle, rectangle, and some hexagonal if I'm using. So everyone is using that kind of word. Okay, so this is all four kind of information, four pillar I explained here, and those four pillars are nothing but the data abstraction, and then encapsulation, and then inheritance, and then polymorphism. So these are the four pillar of object oriented programming here. So now I'm going to explain how to define a class inside the Java. Okay, and some example we are going to see, and all four pillars which we learn in this session, that everything we are going to show with the help of practical plan. So there is a class ABC, and how you define, so every class must have a data member, and you are going to write access control with that, so private, public, or protected, and then you type a data type, and then memory variable, n number of data members you can use. Then there is a method called as a constructor, which name is same name as a class name. Okay, and so special method which name is same name as a class name. Okay, and I can say which don't have any written data types, even void also. So you are not going to type written data type as a void here. So this is a public is a accessibility control, and ABC is a name of class. My constructor name is also ABC. Okay, so if you can create n number of what the constructor with a different signature. So in last session, I already explained what is signature. That is a parameter which you are passing to the function. So if your function required a parameter, so you can use those parameters, then such kind of function is called as a parameterized function. So this is a parameterized function, and this is non-parameterized function or method, I can say. But I'm talking about the constructor. So this is non-parameterized constructor, and this is parameterized constructor. When the parameter is constructor and non-parameterized constructor, if though these constructor, two constructors are available inside one class, then those with a different definition, then that is known as overloading here. So this is called as a constructor overloading. That also we are going to see when we are writing the part. So this is a method body, and it has a property. So all these are stuffs available in a class ABC. So you should define data member, you should define constructor. Okay, there is no destructor in like C++. Java has automatic inbuilt system called as a garbage collector here. Okay, so constructor is automatically called when the object is created. Similarly, destructor is automatically called when the object is destroyed. But here we are using a destructor in C++, but in Java, this thing, the same thing is taking place or created by a garbage class, okay, and that is called by a finally method here. Okay, so we are going to understand the finally method of when we are using the something called as exception handling. Exception handling we are going to see after completing this object oriented programming concept. Okay, so exception handling, when inside that, when the exception is thrown, then the applications are showing some error here, and some automation exceptions are thrown here, and you have to handle those exceptions. So here I'm showing there's a class called as a person, and these are the two data members using, and there is a overloaded constructor. One is person with a parameterized and non-parameterized, and you can create a method, input data, and the show data. So simple class I'm going to define. Okay, and after defining that class, we are going to see the uh, constructor there. So it will take hardly 2 more minutes here. So I'm just creating one class, and in next class I'm going to show you inheritance, polymorphism, uh, and the different type of inheritance and data abstraction and encapsulation. So once you define a class, that means you are creating encapsulation. Okay. So let me show. So 6:23 now. After 2 minutes, I'm going to stop. So 8:24. Okay, we'll stop here because there are another class is taking place. Okay, here. At 6:25. So we'll continue this with the next class. So I'm stopping here, and we'll continue defining the class because it will take a time to load the application. Thank you.